know, Asian parents don't blatantly say like, we're proud of you. I know my dad is proud because like after I go on set and I film something, he'll always ask like, so where is it? Is it done? Is it out somewhere?
Yeah, when are they
Can you give me the link?
Yeah.
Did you find it? And then he'll show it to his friends.
Everybody, he'll literally send it to everyone.
Why is she laughing?
No, we're talking about K-Town accents.
We were.
Maybe it was just a real life conversation that we were talking about it though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think it was on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we probably were just talking. Yeah, how's your day?
Dude, my day was like so freaking chaotic.
Okay.
Because I couldn't sleep, but then I knew I needed to get up at 9 because Boiler Room, it's like a DJ set. They're coming to LA, and so I wanted tickets. And so I woke up at like 8:50 after a 30-minute nap, and then they sent an email saying, oh, tickets drop at 11, and I was like, why did I wake up then? And so I went back to sleep for like another 30 minutes, woke up at 11, got the tickets.
Well, why did you think it was 9 o'clock?
Because they said 9 o'clock. It was weird. They just sent the email at 9 o'clock. I was like, this is false advertising. And so it was just like a chaotic morning. But then the rest of my day was chill.
Okay, so you woke up at 5:50, couldn't go back to bed, but you took a 30-minute nap, woke up at 9, and then they were like, surprise, it's at 11. So you went back to bed for like, what, 2 hours? Like a solid 2 hours?
Maybe like a solid 45 minutes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What time did you go to bed?
Like 1 something. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on with my sleep schedule.
Are you okay?
I'm actually okay.
Okay, great.
I'm like, okay. I think I'm just like, you know when you're like kind of delusional? I think I'm running on that.
Okay.
It's the kind of delusional. So
Okay.
everything is swell.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I did have an update for you. Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay. So I was at Lock and Key the other week, right? I said that I've been going out a lot, and I went to Lock and Key, and this is my first time back in like 3 years. Because the last time we went, which we talked about on one of our early episodes, how you stole the orange from the bar.
Yes.
Right? And you said it was
the best orange I've ever had.
Yeah. And so I found a friend for you. This girl at the bar goes, do you guys want some of this orange? And I was like, shut up. I was like, is this from the bar? She was like, yeah, I'm friends with one of the bartenders, and so I always make them give me an orange because these are the best oranges. Yeah.
Oh, shook it. Wait. Oh, so she doesn't work there. She has a friend.
No. Yeah.
We guys, what did I tell you? I'm telling you, the stuff that comes out of my mouth, it's either the truth or a Julu fact, I guess. But no, it was
it was so good.
I can't remember the taste, but I just remember in the moment, it was like, and it's kind of hard to like an orange. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Like it's so hard to eat, so hard to peel, and even if you have long nails, then all the stuff gets under your nails.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a difficult fruit to have unless it's juiced.
I agree.
But it was so tasty.
Yeah. And yeah, me, Kara,
right?
And then one of my friends.
Yep.
We all had a slice.
And
it was so freaking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the key is to make friends with the bartender rather than to be chased down by the bartender, Julie.
Okay, I like that. but to be friends, I feel like you need to order some drinks. I feel like that day he was getting irritated because I don't know who was so drunk.
Water, right?
Yeah, I don't know who was so drunk. I just kept going up for waters.
Right.
And they're trying to make money.
And they're not making money.
And some tip. And so I just keep going up there like, can I have some water, please? But I guess this does raise a question. They don't use the orange. They don't make smoothies. What do they do with the orange? Because all they do is they use the zest.
Oh, yeah, because they're not hand squeezing it on the spot.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Okay.
And they're not blending anything.
Right.
They're not putting chunks of orange anywhere.
Right.
They're not using it as a cup little decor piece. So I feel like I'm doing them a favor.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So I think we need to go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
And then I went for TFTI, which is on Thursdays. It's like once a month. It's hosted by this girl named Christina and this guy Omar Woods. And it was so fun.
At Lock and Key.
So you guys should. It's just like an event. It's kind of like they put on this event. They bring their own DJs, have their own decor and stuff. So it's really cool. Okay. But it was like so fun. So shouts out to
was it like
TFTI.
a lot of people?
Packed.
Okay.
On a Thursday. Packed.
No, I feel like Thursday is like
the night.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my
Okay.
week.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Wait, when was this?
This was last Thursday.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. What have you been up to? How was your day?
Yes. How's my day was tiring, but you guys. So update on my end too.
Okay.
I moved. I moved. I feel like I mentioned it a couple episodes ago.
We did a full episode on it. Yes.
Yes, we did a full episode. But at that point, I hadn't fully moved. Like I was still in the process.
Yeah, like I don't even think you guys had secured a place.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
And I think now because we did secure the place, I can talk about it. This man's be playing games with me.
Why?
Because it's a place that I had looked at, but I was waiting for another property because the price was just like too good. It was too good for the location, for the amount of rooms and the bathroom and all that. It was just for the amenities. It was too good. So that kept getting delayed because the tenants didn't want to move, and then they like extended a week. And I didn't know, but in California and in New York, it's like up to the tenant. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I always thought it was up to the landlord. Like, hey, even if you're living here because you're moving out, I'm going to bring in people to see the place. But no, I believe it's up to the
tenants.
Mm-hmm. And so anyways, I ended up not liking the place. And honestly, it was too good to be true, right?
Oh,
so then I reached back out to the place that I had visited 2 weeks ago. But as you know, in Los Angeles, things go by
super quick.
I don't think it's as quick as New York.
New York, you're like...
It's like
on the spot.
Yeah. Oh, right? yeah. You have to bring the checkbook with you. And if you don't, like, you're not getting the place.
Yeah.
So here, they were like, oh, sorry, like, we are waiting for the lease to be signed by whoever. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Like, do you have other properties?
Right.
He doesn't.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, just keep me in the loop. Like, keep me updated if they don't sign. Because, it's kind of like the altar thing where, it's not, they don't live in the place unless they sign the contract and it's in the property's hands.
Yes. Yes.
So, of course, something happens. They don't get it. So, my roommates and I were like, all right, everyone, like, fill up the application. Like, let's go. And you know what he texted me? He was like, each tenant just needs one application each.
So like,
so what is that? Like each tenant just needs one application. What is that? What does that mean?
So like literally what you would think in the first place, right?
But what does that mean? Each tenant. So for a 3-bedroom place, each tenant just needs one application.
So everyone fill it out.
Is that what it means?
Each tenant. So like you're a tenant, your roommate is a tenant.
But our room is like one room. Or I mean, it's like one apartment.
Right, but then each tenant.
Oh, well, anyways. Okay, so my person and I were just texting back and forth. Anyways, we submit it. And then, of course, the next day he's like, oh, somebody submitted an application the same time you guys did.
That's bullshit.
And so he's like, oh, yeah, so the property manager or the leasing manager, whatever, is like, has to decide who to give it to. And of course, she chooses the other tenants. Actually, they're not the tenants, so I guess the other applicants.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, bummer. Okay, let me know if something happens. And then, lo and behold, something happens, and then we get the place. So this was
all of that.
Exactly.
That is a miracle.
Yeah, they should be lucky that we were desperate.
You guys were a little desperate, I will say.
I'm gonna be really honest. I wasn't in a hurry because I'm living at home, but I think my route for them, it was getting kind of concerning because it was like, all right, we're getting near to like the end of their like current leases, and they were like, okay, this week I cut off the Wi-Fi, or I cut the everything, right? So anyways, you guys, I moved. As of today, I have not lived there yet. I will start sleeping there in 2 days.
Right.
Maybe 3 days. Maybe 2 days.
Okay. Take your time, sweetheart.
Yeah, I've been slowly moving things in. I'm excited.
Dude, she's gonna shop you're gonna spend so much money.
Oh, yeah. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't we talk about how expensive furniture was?
I told you this.
I don't remember.
I told you this.
Dude, why is a farking lamp? I've never bought like an aesthetic lamp before.
It's
it's usually
$250.
Why? Literally, why is I wanted like a pink mushroom looking lamp. Like it's not an actual mushroom, but you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
That's
expensive.
Why is it so expensive?
Yeah.
I just wanted some. I don't know. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
And okay, I always knew rugs were expensive, but I did not know. Yeah, lamps, and just. Like artwork, I just don't know what is representative of me. Like, you know me, like I like color, but I'm trying to stay a little bit minimalistic.
Right.
Because now that this is my apartment, like you gotta collect pieces too.
That you like really, really like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, what are timeless pieces that I could take with me? But, it's just too much.
No, honestly, I think that like it's very overwhelming trying to decorate and like make your place feel like a home and all of
Yes.
that. But Julie, I did tell you how expensive things were. That's why I was like, you're going to be on Facebook Marketplace because you're not going to realize how expensive things are.
Oh yes, and add mirror to that list.
Oh, mirror. Yeah.
Yeah, a full body mirror.
You know the mirror in our living room?
I was looking at it.
Like,
I love that mirror. It's a great mirror.
How much do you think that would go retail?
Retail.
Yeah.
Oh, you got that on Facebook Marketplace?
Yes.
Oh no, retail has to like minimum $250. Minimum.
I honestly want to say that's like $800
Yeah,
mirror.
I was gonna say
maybe?
like minimum $250, but on average to the floor mirrors like $400 to $500. Like honestly, I think $699, $599 to $699 was the number I was seeing.
Yeah. $70.
Shut the front door.
Do you know what happened was I found this random dude on Facebook Marketplace. He was moving out of his home in the Hollywood Hills.
I was saying yes and hills at the same time.
Oh,
Yells.
Yeah, the Hollywood
Yeah.
Hills. And he just needed to get rid of everything. So I literally just started collecting pieces, even for my parents. They were like, good job, Hannah. This was when I was on my like Facebook Marketplace grind. So yeah. But I'm really happy for you.
Yes, I'm excited.
How are you feeling?
We're gonna have, you guys, our friends decided to have a monthly dinner.
Yeah,
which
because we don't see each other at all.
Yeah, it was kind of sad, but it made me more sad that a friend was more sad about it. One of the girls was just like, yeah, like sometimes I think if, you know, the girls even care about what's going on. And I think it's just like, it comes with the comfort, you know, like,
yeah.
and you know, the whole bystander effect, like, you know, someone will ask a question and like nobody responds. And I do have to be honest, sometimes, not recently, but like in the past, there have been times when like I would ask a question and nobody answers, but then like somebody sends something else and everybody's responding. It's like, how do I need to prompt the question or cue it up so that people are responding? But I think it's just time. It's just very random.
Yeah.
And so you guys, we've decided to have a monthly dinner. And so not this coming month, but the next month is my month. And I'm thinking the housewarming is that month.
Oh,
What are your
that's
thoughts?
perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, you guys will definitely have to carpool.
Oh, parking is bad.
See, I don't know if it's too bad because if we're next to a bank and the bank is like not in operating hours at night,
Maybe you could
could you not park there?
I don't know. I don't know what the rules are.
Yeah, me too. I don't know.
Okay.
But I did drive around kind of like 2 streets behind so I could tell you guys where to park.
Oh, okay.
But definitely walk in groups.
Yeah. Okay. The same with my neighborhood. You know, that's the only way that we're going to be able to afford rent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What else happened? Did anything else happen?
Kind of it on my end.
Yeah. I mean, that's big. Oh, I went to the doctor's, got, just, this is like, just.
It's not November, ma'am.
Yes. Why did I? Well, because I usually get my annual checkups in January.
Okay.
But it's been delayed a little bit, quite a bit. So now I'm getting it done.
Oh, okay.
So I got my blood panel, full blood panel, urine testing, and I also did an ultrasound, which I didn't know I was getting.
Okay.
But I got it. But did you know in order to get your ultrasound, like non-invasive, just like kind of like on the tummy,
right?
You need to have a full bladder. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah.
No, I did not know that at all.
And it was so funny because when I woke up, you know, I wake up parched, which clearly means I'm going to bed way too dehydrated because I'll wake up like so thirsty. Yeah. But I was so busy in the morning. I couldn't like, it was a thought I had like, okay, drink water, like go grab some water, but I didn't. And so I get to the hospital, or I keep calling it the hospital. And my boss was like, you were at the hospital? I go to my doctor's, just our little clinic.
Clinic, yeah.
And they were like, oh, like, are you hydrated? Did you have water? And I was like, did not have a single drop this morning. So she brings out 6 cups of water, like not the small Dixie cups, like the actual just styrofoam, like regular size. Have you ever had such difficulty drinking water?
Oh,
Dude, I was like gagging drinking water.
No, yeah, it can be kind of gross when you have to
the
force yourself.
Yeah, and the lukewarm one.
You know what's crazy is like I just drink lukewarm water now.
Why? You have an ice machine.
Cause honestly, like lukewarm water is kind of like cold now, right? Compared to my body temperature, it's technically cold. And so I don't know. I don't know. It's weird.
Maybe conditioning.
Yeah, maybe. I think I
Yeah.
literally just started drinking it. And then, like, of course, my grandma has drilled into my head that, like, cold water is
Yeah.
bad for you.
Yeah.
And so I just, like, end up drinking lukewarm water. And I'm like, this is fine.
Yeah, I am a little upset. We do have an ice machine, but I don't trust it.
Why? Just put you have to put the filter in. There's a little filter for the ice and the water.
No, we don't have a. It's one of those, like, it pops it out. It, like, poops it out into, like, a little bucket.
Okay.
It's not like yours, where, like, not like yours and, like, mine at my house.
Oh,
Where if
okay.
you, like, push it against the wall, it's like, and, like, comes out in cubes.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the one that poops out inside the freezer into a bucket.
Well, you do realize that when you open our freezer, that's where the ice is in a bucket. And then it's just a little, like, a tunnel down to your cup.
Okay.
Yeah, so you could trust it. Just pro tips.
But yes. I wanted to let you guys know, if you guys do get an ultrasound, you need to be hydrated, because they made me drink. So it was 6 cups, and then they gave me 2 more. And so I had 8 cups. And so then then we had to wait, and I was there for over an hour, maybe close to 2 hours, because we had to wait for my bladder, because I laid down and he put the ultrasound machine, and, like, it was like, oh yeah, like, you could tell if the bladder is, like, getting full. So, like, it wasn't full enough. So he was like, okay, I'll be back in 5 minutes. And so it was so early in the morning, I slept anyways on the bed. And then he came back, and I peed a waterfall. Like, when they gave me the thing, I was like, okay, I'm doing a good job. He only needed this much. I peed like this much.
Nice.
And, you know, you usually, when you have that much water, you usually pee multiple times. I was on the freeway, really needed to pee. So I broke into my bathroom real quick at my new apartment.
Oh, nice.
Yep, bless the toilet. Yep. But I wanted you guys to know that you need to be you need to be hydrated, not dehydrated. You need to be hydrated for them to see the ultrasound image clearly.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, actually, I lied. I do have a final update.
On?
I guess my dating life. It's not that exciting. Basically, I went home this past weekend because it was my grandma's birthday. My cousin was going to prom. My other cousin's dance show. And then I was, like, just spending time with my grandma, hanging out, and we're, like, talking. And she guys has been trying to set me up, right, with this one guy.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, let's
your grandma's friend's nephew.
I don't even think my grandma's friend and the guy are related. I don't think they're related. She just, like, knows of him.
Like the one that doesn't live in this state, right?
Yeah. She lives in Colorado.
Yeah.
And so let's call him YB. My grandma has been praying for me and YB. I was like, excuse me?
Oh, do you know what this man looks like?
Yeah, I got sent a photo of him. And then, mind you, we have each other's numbers. And he was like, oh, I'll hit you back tomorrow because it's getting late here. And never responded to me. I was like, Grandma, why are you praying for this if he's not interested? She's like, oh, he's just busy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, he's literally across the country. Like, he doesn't care.
Oh,
like,
yes?
Yeah, he's in Vermont. I was like, what? Why? And my grandma's like, just wait for him. I'm like, why are we waiting for someone who is in Vermont, who literally does not care to talk to me?
Yeah.
Stop praying for us, because my grandma's prayers 100% work. Oh, they, like, really work. And so I gave her another name to pray for. Oh, I gave her another name to pray for, everyone. So
Good. You need to give her the full name, you know, because you don't want it to be a random. You know?
Right.
It needs to be like first name, try to get his middle initial, last name, and give her as much detail.
Oh,
you know, the one
okay.
who, you know, like owns.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That lives in. Like, I feel like you need to give her more detail, because God, like, answers prayers, but you need to be specific.
You're right.
You need to be specific.
You're 100% right. And it was so funny the way that she was, like, trying to remember his name. Like, okay, like, here, I'll give you an example. Okay, so let's say his name is Scott.
Okay.
She was going, Scott. And then I was like, and she goes, Soju, Scott. Because it was the same
S.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So,
Soju Scott. I like that. Soju Scott. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I think that's it for our check-ins.
Yeah.
And we have a very exciting episode for you guys.
I know, I'm so excited. You guys are gonna love her.
Yeah, like I literally love Leanne. We met at USC. She is just like such a funny, like energetic. Like her energy is kind of like
Contagious.
Yeah.
Like it's not overwhelming.
Right.
It's just so bright.
Yes.
And kind of like you know, and like okay, I don't know why I said Pokemon because I don't even know if the Pokemon, but you know when they like, you know, their offense, it's like pew, and it's like electric.
Oh,
Hers is more like airy and bright.
Yes.
But still there, like, you know.
Like she is there. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys visualize it, please. Visualize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Let's get into it. What was that?
Welcome, Leanne.
Oh, wait. We didn't even do our intro.
Welcome back to another episode of
BULGOGI Pod. Yeah. We actually know each other from USC. We were on the same dance team for the semester that I was on the dance team.
I forgot you were only on it for one semester.
Yeah.
Wait, that's actually pretty crazy because I feel like I'm like, yeah, we met in C3.
Yeah.
But I forgot you were only there for one semester.
Dude, I couldn't handle it. Like,
Wait,
I didn't understand how people could balance like school, social life, and practice, especially during Hell Week when it's like, how many hours?
You were there from like 7 p.m. until like 2 a.m.
And it always overlapped with either midterms or finals.
What did like the
The
dance
Hell Week.
So it's like Hell Week, which is right before our dance competition. And so it's a full week of just practice from 7 p.m.
From 7 p.m.
Wow.
to 2 a.m. every single day for like a week straight.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is after we left the team, I heard it got even more intense. So I think they practiced until like 4 or 5 a.m. So it got even worse, I heard.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I would not be able to do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a good time.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I met a lot of people. Like I'm still running into people.
I run in the same circle with a lot of them too. So I always run into them like everywhere around LA.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's just a little bit of background on how we know each other.
Yes.
But you guys actually kind of no, like there's a little bit of
She's confused. She doesn't
overlap.
remember. What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean?
I was scared.
Of what?
Well, we know each other because when we first started this podcast, I had been kind of newly single.
Yeah.
And when would you say this happened? And like,
Wait, I know.
Yes.
Oh my God. I know exactly what story you're about
Should
to tell.
we retell this? Okay, actually, I don't really remember because I don't remember the number. I feel like the number is important.
The number
right?
is important. Do you remember the number? Like the
exact number? Or like how? Okay, I feel like
Just-
everyone's like, what's going on? What's going on?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, she doesn't remember. That's how insignificant it was, you guys.
I was like, what number are we talking about? But I know exactly what story we're
Yes.
talking about.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Okay,
So
long story short, you guys. So I had been broken up. I mean, what do
you guys were
I was
you and your
single.
ex.
Yes,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
single. My ex. Okay, so it's been a couple months, and Hannah, the amazing, what do you call it? Like, the amazing
FBI.
Yeah, the agent skill in her.
Yes, the detail orientedness of myself.
Yes. So you had posted a story on your IG story, right? About just like, are these a type of men that are out there these days? Something like
Which
that,
I do
right?
often, to be honest. I always post like the audacity of men
Yeah,
out
something
here
like that.
in these dating apps,
Something
right?
like that. And I don't think you like explicitly like showed the name, but Hannah saw the small icon photo.
Wait, did I not show the name?
No,
Maybe
you
I didn't. Okay.
Yeah. It was like I don't think you showed anything except the small
Icon of his profile picture.
like maybe 2 by 2 centimeters. Right?
less.
Okay, it
Like
was,
maybe
you guys,
1 by
it was a
1
screenshot.
centimeters,
It was
yeah.
super tiny, but somehow Hannah's like, that picture, this 1 by 1 centimeter
God.
photo looks familiar. Lo and behold, it was my ex, and the context of the text was just like,
He didn't respond to any of my prompts or anything, right? The way he chose to message me was, I think he just threw out a number 1 through 10.
Like
it was
rating you, right?
And it was like him rating me, which again, I didn't have a prompt in there that said like, oh, please rate me, haha. Like he just threw a number out there. and I was like, the hell? Like, I was like, who is this man? Like, who do you think you are? And the funny thing is, it said he went to USC, but I didn't know who this guy was. I'd never seen him before. So then Hannah messages me and goes, oh my God, I know exactly who this guy is. And she's like, he's my friend's ex, like, blah, blah, blah. I never liked him anyway, like, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh my God. And then actually, you were like, can I talk about this on my podcast? So, and now we're all here.
Yes.
Circle.
Yes.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to him after that?
No, we've actually never ran into each other.
Wow.
Never talked.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's kind of incredible.
He probably doesn't even know that this whole thing happened, right?
No, he definitely does. Oh, he definitely does. Because remember, I'm pretty sure he ran into one of our other friends.
Who told him?
Well, and then the things he was saying to our friend was like I can't believe like Julie would talk about that stuff like on a podcast, blah, blah, blah.
It's like he's not accountable for his own actions.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, no.
I think he knows.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe not now. Maybe he wouldn't think on the podcast now.
Right, he probably has no
Hopefully he's
idea.
not. Yeah, hopefully he's not into it, but...
That's so crazy.
No, but the thing is, the number that he threw out was so disrespectful. Like, I was
I mean, to be completely honest with you, I don't even remember what number it was.
no.
I'm sure if I went in our DMs, actually, I could probably find it.
I just looked. I think you're gonna have to go through your Instagram archive. I think that's what's gonna happen because your story disappeared.
Oh,
or you'll be able to see
I'll
it.
be able to see it. Should I look at it right now?
Yeah.
Let's look at this.
Should we all guess the number?
Yeah. Well,
I feel like because it was a very it was a random you could not if
And
it was at a 10 it was gonna be really really WTF type of thing. It was because it was not it was I feel like it was a 5 point something he sent.
Really?
I think it was a 4.2.
I was gonna guess he said a 4 or something like that.
Yeah, no, it was so messed
what does
up.
that mean? It was just so questionable. The number. Well, you said, why would you send a number?
Right. And oh my God, I found it. Wait. First of all, I found his profile because I guess I sent it to you too. I sent it to you too.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I found the screenshot. He said 5.4 at best.
Okay, so we were all close. We were close. You guys remember the 4.
And then I said, out of 5, oh, that's sweet. Unfortunately, you're about a negative 9,384,693. Don't talk to girls like that.
I remember that. I remember the negative part.
Wait, can I just ask you,
yes,
when you heard all this, were you surprised that he was talking to people like that, or?
I don't know. I feel
because there was just me judging you from just now. I feel like you're such a nice person.
Oh, thank you.
And I would not expect you to date someone like that,
I mean, obviously, I don't know what his intention was, right? But I think I felt a little if I put myself back when Hannah first told me this, I think I felt a little bit of secondhand embarrassment, a little bit.
Oh, right. Because you're I dated this guy.
Yeah, I dated this person.
Right.
You were supposed to train him.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. We talk about it. How do boys learn from their moms and their exes?
Right.
That's how they learn.
Or they should,
I failed.
at least, yeah.
I failed.
Well, it's not your fault. It's maybe, maybe he
taking it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Maybe you did train him, but he's just untrainable because...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
it's so crazy.
Yeah, look how just this world is too small.
Yeah,
No, it truly
this world
is.
is small. And again, I've never run into him. I've never seen him. I don't know who he is.
I do know where he is now.
Oh, okay. Is he still in LA?
No, he is not.
Okay.
He is not. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So you guys kind of.
Yes.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Kinda.
I mean, I'm just what compels a guy to like a girl on a dating app and then message her something like that? And there's a whole thing called negging.
Yeah.
So that's what he was
What's
doing.
that?
Negging is where a guy will deliberately insult you to kind of bring your confidence down and make you think oh, I have to impress this guy. It's a manipulation tactic. And that's what he was doing.
Yeah. Right off the bat.
Right
there was
off the bat.
no
He liked
warm-up.
me. I didn't like him. He liked me on the app. And that's what he said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't
Negging.
know. It's a thing. It's insane out there. I mean,
The manipulation.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually deleted all of my dating apps yesterday.
good for you.
I was I'm
Wow.
freaking over it.
I deleted Hinge because I was banned.
Shut up.
You were banned from
I was
Hinge?
so it's kind of anticlimactic because there's no reason. Like, I didn't do anything. I didn't message. I mean, I guess I messaged. You're -9 million. But I mean, besides that message, I never like, I didn't do anything inappropriate or whatever. And I'd had this Hinge account for years, like on and off when I was single. I think this was last summer in 2021. I think I was like, I kind of wanted to just like start fresh and like create a new account, right? Because I've had this old account for so long. So I deleted the account and then I tried to create a new one. Right when I try to create a new one, it's like, you've been banned from this app. I know. That was my reaction. And I tried everything. Like, I tried a new email. I tried a new phone number because I was like, oh my God, like, especially during the pandemic, how else do I meet people? Right? Yeah. And I didn't want to do like Tinder or anything else. So I was like, Hinge was like the best option, I guess. I was out there. And it wouldn't take anything. The only thing that worked was I got a new phone. And then I guess like it didn't recognize my new device. So then I was able to create a new account, but then I only had it for a few months before I got banned again.
What?
I think it facial recognized me or something. I swear to God, like I don't know how they knew it was me, but I only had it for a couple months and then I got banned again.
Did you email them?
I emailed them. So when it says you've been banned, there's like an email that they provide you, and they don't respond to anyone on that.
You
email.
Violated the code.
I violated the code, which I'm like, what? I'm like, what did I do? You know what? I bet it was your ex.
You know what? It could have been.
Maybe it was.
It could have been.
Which is so ridiculous. So my theory was that maybe I just had like stopped talking to someone. Like maybe I'd stopped responding to someone and they got salty and they just
so
reported me. Because the whole thing with Hinge is you're supposed to be on there to look for a relationship, right? So my guess is that someone was like, oh, this girl ghosted me. She's not here for the right reasons or whatever. And then maybe I got banned from that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Or was your ex. There are some salty men out there. Like,
no, there's some cuckoos. I mean, I've heard some crazy stories about just because like people will use fake photos, right? And do like dirt, like they'll set up like a virtual date and then do the dirty stuff, and then
using fake photos.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you can just upload whatever photo you want,
Right.
So they will put up misleading photos, like pictures of not them, just random photos that they can find, right? And especially if your Instagram is public.
Oh, it's easy.
I don't want to give people ideas, but you can.
I'm taking notes. I'm just kidding.
You can technically screenshot like somebody's Instagram photos, say you're them, and then you have a FaceTime date, and then I don't know, do whatever you guys do. Whatever you do, and then you can just like delete it, and then they can't report you anymore if you like unmatch right away.
Right. See, it's crazy that there are people out there doing that, and they don't get banned, but I get banned.
I know. Wait, maybe someone is using your photos, like they are catfishing using your photos, and then
I've never thought of that though.
Well, but then like, how would you know? Because
I don't know.
So,
like, if that's true, well, don't you think someone would have like noticed by now?
Like someone would have found it.
I think someone would have found it because I mean, I'm sure I know a lot of people on Hinge.
Yeah.
I would assume that someone would have found it by now.
Yeah.
I just honestly assume that someone was salty and reported me for like not responding or something.
It's fair.
Because I mean, you match with someone, sometimes you don't respond.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, a lot of times I don't respond.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you better be careful now because you don't want to be...
deleted it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did you pause the account? Because what if people
No, I deleted.
Oh, great.
I was over it. I
great.
deleted it. I was like, get rid of all of the history, all of the matches, because I saw, a part of the reason was because I saw a TikTok that was like, it's a girl and she's like, oh, I've seen this guy on Hinge for 3 years. And then she's like, oh shit, that means that they've seen me for 3 years.
I saw that TikTok too. I always think about that. It's like, and I saw another TikTok that was like, oh, when you see someone you recognize from a dating app and you're like, oh, how you doing, buddy? It's like, oh, you're still here too. Oh, I hope you've been doing well. Oh, you got a new profile picture? That's nice. Like, oh, your haircut it's looking pretty good,
It's too hilarious.
It's like, they must think the same thing when they see me on there, you know what I mean?
It's
so crazy.
Absolutely.
Dating apps are they're so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But talking about dating apps, have you ever felt like you have been like fetishized?
Yeah. I've gotten some actually, Well, so I've gotten weird comments on dating apps for sure, but the weirdest experience that sticks out in my head was actually in person. I was at a bar and a white guy came up to me and he was trying to wingman for his friend who happened to be Asian, but the white guy, what he said to me was...
ruined it.
No, he was like, oh, you know, I never liked Asian girls before, but now I'm like super into them. Ew! And I'm like, what am I supposed to say to that? Like... Okay. That's great. what do you even say to that? What? Yeah. So I've heard things like that. It's just like, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you say to that?
Yeah, what did you do? Because I feel like if I laughed, if I laughed, like, did you just hear yourself? Yeah. I feel like he would have been so embarrassed.
I think I just didn't know. Like I think I just didn't know how to respond. Yeah. Because the funny thing is, clearly they think it's a compliment.
Yeah.
That's the craziest part. They don't think they're being creepy, or they don't think they're being like, they don't think they're fetishizing. Like, to them, it's a compliment.
It's like, you are finally worthy of my attention. That is crazy.
And I've just heard other crazy things from guys being like, oh, Asian women are in these days. And like, yeah, and it's like we're like an object or something of desire.
Oh no!
What kind of men do you? Well, actually, the crazy thing is, the person who said that to me was my CEO at my first job out of college. He was a 73-year-old white Jewish man. And
I feel like I can understand, like, a little bit, you know, like a 73-year-old.
He said so many inappropriate things to me because I was like an Asian. I was the youngest one at my office at that time because I was like freshly graduated.
Right.
And he just said so many inappropriate things to me because I was Asian.
That's crazy.
It was insane. And I mean, after I left, actually, there's like an LA Times article about him exposing him because someone who had a podcast at that company also felt really uncomfortable with him because he would say just like crazy shit. Yeah. And so she worked with like an LA Times reporter to sort of like do an expose on him. And then they actually interviewed me. And this was, again, mind you, this was like fresh out of college. So I was so scared to be in this article because I was like, is this going to follow me around like everywhere? Because the internet is forever, you know? Not that I was doing anything wrong, but I just didn't want this to kind of like follow me around. So my Korean name is actually in the article, not my English name.
That is so smart.
Yeah, because no, but this is the thing. The reporter was like, initially they were like, oh, you can be completely anonymous. And then after I told her everything, she's like, actually, it's not credible if we don't have your name in it. And I was like, you told me it was going to be anonymous. And I just like told you all of these things, you know?
Right.
I know. So then I kind of was like, okay, just use my Korean name then. Yeah. Because, you know, that's like the loophole that I did. But yeah, I bet you that article's still out there.
Oh gosh. Because especially with like your background, right? Like Can you actually like share a little bit about like what you want to do?
Yeah. So I work like a regular 9-to-5 job, but on the side, I've been pursuing acting for the past, I want to say like 6 years, which is so crazy now because I'm like, time just flies. Yeah. But it's been 6 years that I've been doing acting. I've been able to do a handful of commercials, but my main goal was always to do TV and film.
I'll need to find this
Apple commercial.
No, I'm gonna
nobody
find it.
No, nobody look my stuff up, please.
Leanne Park.
I know. Nobody look my stuff up. But yeah, it's been it's been fun. Luckily, I haven't had like crazy experiences like that in my acting career, thankfully. But that was also in the entertainment industry, so. It's just insane what people think they can get away with and stuff, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah. But that's kind of crazy. So you have a 9-to-5.
Yeah.
And then on the side, you do all this.
Okay. So I graduated college. I graduated from USC with a degree in communications, but I had always loved performing. Like I grew up singing. I was, dancing with you in college, and in high school I danced. And I always had a passion for acting, and I always wanted to be in front of the camera. But I was kind of too chicken to do it. I had a lot of self-doubt, and it was almost crippling because I would, like I mentioned, I worked at this company right out of college. It was a podcast company, and I would always meet like really cool people who would come in as guests. So people like Kris Jenner, people like Quentin Tarantino would come in, and I would meet these people, these really successful people who are killing it in the entertainment industry. And I was like, I want to do what they're doing, I don't want to do what I was a social media producer at that job. And I was like, I don't want to be the one taking pictures of them. Like I want to be the one
Taking
I want to
pics
be
of.
exactly. I want to be in front of the camera, and you know, I wanted to do that, but I was so just like paralyzed by this fear of like, oh, well, you're never going to make it. Like, why would anyone want you? And especially back then, you know, there weren't that many roles for Asians. There was barely anything on TV and movies, right? I think at the time, Fresh Off the Boat was like the only thing that was happening, which was great. But, you know, it wasn't like I was like, oh, there's so many opportunities for me out there. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So it took a year of me being at that company for me to be so miserable, like just being there, because I knew that wasn't what I wanted to do. It took a whole year of me being there to finally be like, you know what, I gotta do what I gotta do. So I quit my job without any like backup plans, and then I found myself an agent like within the same month that I quit.
Okay.
And then the ball kind of went rolling from there, but I got a part-time job working at a salon in Santa Monica while I was pursuing acting. So acting was like my number one goal at the time, right? And to be honest, because I'm such a like I'm an ambitious person, but if I feel like nothing's happening, I get really restless. And it was almost like it was kind of debilitating to my my ego a little bit, because I felt like all my friends who had also graduated from USC were doing such cool things at like really cool companies, and they were like, you know, getting raises and promotions. And I felt like I was at the salon like not booking a lot, right? Like I was doing jobs, I was doing commercials, but it's not like I had made it, you know? I didn't land like a big role on a TV show or a movie. And it was really hard for me because I felt like, I was like, man, am I failing? You know? And that's the hard thing about pursuing acting is you have to be in it for the long run. You know, you're not gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna give myself a month to make it and that's it. Like you can't do that, right? You have to be in it for the long run. So I spent a couple years just feeling like a complete failure, to be honest. And on the outside, people were like, oh my God, like that's so cool that you're doing this. And you did this Apple commercial, like that's so cool.
Right.
But like I was... but I was like, man, but is that it? Like, is that all?
Right.
So now during the pandemic, actually, I got a 9-to-5 job, like a full-time job. And my coworkers don't really know that I'm still doing acting. Like no one really knows. I didn't tell them, but I will say, honestly, it kind of worked out with the whole remote hybrid situation because I can still do my auditions and they don't know.
Right.
So it all kind of worked out. So now I'm getting a salary and stuff, but it feels like a load of pressure sort of off my shoulders because I'm still working and I'm still making money and doing this, but I can still do auditions and still keep at it. So
Right.
yeah, so that's kind of my journey. Yeah. So I will never give up. It's still a passion and dream of mine, but it feels nice that I'm not like depressed or like panicking almost because I don't feel like I have nothing going on for myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think when it was my sole purpose, I sort of was like, man, is nothing going to happen? Is like life passing by me because I'm just like waiting for this thing to happen?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, like over the past few years, I've sort of adopted this philosophy of like, if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. But you have to be open to all opportunities and what's meant for you will not pass you by, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Sorry, I didn't mean to get so deep in it. That's where I'm at right now.
No, yeah, because I think like a lot of times, like when you think about like people moving to LA and like pursuing acting, like it's like, oh, I got to go 100% in this one thing. But then, like you said, a lot of times like your ego is affected because, you know, this one part of your life like isn't necessarily moving like work-wise. And then especially coming out of like, you know, 4-year university, like literally all your friends are at tech companies. And,
exactly.
Like, yeah, all of that like.
And I mean, good for them. And even though that wasn't even my dream anyway, I still felt like, I was like, man, they're succeeding. At least they're succeeding, right? Right.
And
it was really hard on me. Even like, I think it even affected like my dating life too. Cause I didn't feel so confident in myself when I was like dating, and they'd be like, what do you do? You know? And I'd be like, see, like I work at the salon, but I mean, I also do the commercial sometimes, you know, like it was, it really affected my self-confidence. So I think I kind of made it my whole identity at one point. And that was why it was so hard, because I was like, I want this so bad, but it's just not happening right now, you know? And so it feels, honestly, it's kind of, like I said, it's been a load off of my shoulders to not have that be like my full identity and rely on that as like my, like, this is who I am, you know?
Right. Yeah, because I think a lot of times too, like even with our podcast, like it's easy to like take things on as like your personality rather than just like being and who you are. And so yeah, no, I like, sure. I totally relate.
I do have a question. And especially, you know, in one of our previous episodes, we also had Max guest, another guest. And it's, you know, I feel like my parents always push me towards that stable, right? Like 9 to 5. So I'm just curious, like, what was that support like within your family?
That's a great question. So I think part of the reason why I had so much self-doubt going into it, and like my thought process was, you're not going to make it, is my parents growing up never really supported that aspiration. So since day one, my parents knew that how much I love to be on stage and how much I love to perform. But anytime I would ask for like, can I get like singing lessons, can I do this, they'd always be like, no, you're gonna do like piano lessons, or you know, like they sort of pushed me in the direction that they wanted me to go in, right? And I mean, my parents were never really like, you're gonna be a doctor, like they weren't like that extreme, but they also did not really want me to pursue something as unpredictable and unstable as the entertainment industry. But I think once I graduated college, they saw how miserable I was at my my initial job. I think they sort of were like, you know what? It's been how many years? Like 20 something years, and you still want to do this? I think when they saw that, they were like, okay, like, why don't you just try? Why don't you just go for it? And I'm really surprised actually, because my dad was more supportive of it than my mom was, which I thought was going to be the opposite.
Right.
But my dad, surprisingly, when I told him I want to quit my job and I want to try acting, I fully expected my dad to be like, that's crazy. Like, why would you do that? My dad was like, okay.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you cry? Were you emotional when he said that?
I remember this conversation so well, actually. So I was driving and he was in the passenger seat because I just picked him up from the airport. So I was driving and I think I didn't have time to be emotional because I was like driving. But I remember I was so surprised at how nonchalant he was. He was like, yeah, okay. If you hate your job that much, I mean, quit. He was like, just quit. I was like, just quit.
Yeah.
But my mom was more like, oh, I don't think you should do this. Like, and I don't think it's because she didn't believe in myself. I think she was scared, you know, because obviously immigrant parents, they want you to be stable. They want you to have an easy life, right? And to them, this is not an easy life, which I agree with. But she was definitely more hesitant. And she was always like, why can't you just go into banking? And I'm like, Mom, you know I hate math. Like, I would never be in banking, you know? So my dad was more supportive than my mom was. But I will say, whenever I do book a job or whenever I film something, they're always so excited. And you know, Asian parents don't always like, they don't blatantly say like, we're proud of you. I know my dad is proud because he'll always ask, like after I go on set and I film something, he'll always ask like, so where is it? Is it done? Is it out somewhere?
Yeah, when are they
Can you give me the link?
Yeah,
Did you find it? And then he'll show it to his friends.
Everybody, he'll literally send it to everybody.
He'll show it to his like coworkers, his friends, and that's how I know. I was like, so you are proud of me.
Low-key.
Yeah, low key, but you are. Yeah. So
they definitely lack in the words of affirmation part.
Yeah, I never heard like, I'm
Good
proud
job.
of you, or you know, but I know they are proud because of that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know it's true when they like brag to their friends.
Exactly. Or they send it to like my relatives or something, you know? Where is it? Can you send me the link? Yeah, Katok, like literally. Yeah, where do you have the link? Why isn't it out yet? Oh my God, it's taking so long. Didn't you film this like 3 months ago? Yeah. And I'm like, chill out, Dad. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, I do think our like parents will surprise us because like, I mean, Julie, you've had this experience too, right? Where your parents were like, if you hate your job that much, like, it's okay, you could quit.
Exactly. And that's why I asked, because I remember that moment so vividly too. I just felt so supported when, I know the cookies know, but like I was losing hair. I like, miserable. I hated my job so much. And this was last year. This was last year. Maybe like earlier last year.
Okay. So recent.
Yeah, kind of recent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just dinner table, started crying. And then my mom was like, if you're that miserable, just quit. Like, it's okay. Like, we could figure something out.
Oh,
like,
that makes me want to cry.
yeah.
Like,
So I'm just trying to imagine when you had this conversation. It's an emotional, like, you know,
Yeah.
so like to have your parents support, to be like, yeah, just quit. Like, and it's not worth it. It's a very emotional conversation.
I mean, you know, our parents do love us, and I think they want. The thing is, they want our lives to be easy. For easy for them means being like financially comfortable
Exactly.
and being, you know, stable. They never want to see us like miserable, you know. And I think that's why they push for that easy life. They just want us to have it way simpler than they did and not have to worry. But yeah, it's. I mean, if they see us like that miserable, obviously they're like, oh no, like this is not the road to go.
Yeah,
you
get
know?
your booty out of there.
Exactly. yeah.
Yeah. And then earlier, I know that you mentioned how, like, you know, at the time when you wanted to like pursue acting at the very start, like it was just fresh off the boat. Like, how have you seen kind of like the industry kind of change? Because, you know, like that one dude said to you, Asians are trendy. And I feel like from the outside, it seems like there are a lot more opportunities, but obviously you have a very like different perspective on it. So yeah, how have you seen it change?
I do agree. There are so many more opportunities now. I remember when Crazy Rich Asians came out, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like I've never seen a movie like this before."
Oh yeah.
I feel like it just like when I watched it in theaters, it was so inspiring for me because I was like, this is like literally life changing. It's gonna change the entertainment industry, and I think honestly, I think it did. I think it paved the way for so many more, you know, Asian roles, and people saw Asians differently in the media. Which, you know, up till then, I think people had. There are so many stereotypes, right, of Asians in media, and I think that was the hardest thing for me as an actor when I was first starting out. Is I felt like there were so many dumb. They see you the way they want to see you, right? I'll give a few examples. So I met with this one agent before I signed with the one that I had, and she was Asian. So she runs an Asian modeling / commercial agency. I believe she still runs this agency. I think it's still around. I met with her, and I had blonde hair at the time. So I was blonde back then, and then I wasn't blonde, and then I'm blonde again, but I was blonde back then, and I took a meeting with her, and I remember she said, you have to change your hair back to black. And I said, why? You know, and she was like, well, because you're Asian, and that's what they want to see. And I didn't sign with her because I was like, I'm sorry, but that's so dumb.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know where she's coming from, of course, right? So if you think about all the Asian roles that we see in movies, they do all pretty much have black hair because, I mean, that's what we're born with. I get it. But I didn't like that outlook of like, we're never going to change and this is how it's going to be. And you're just going to fit this box. You're going to fit into this box of what the media expects Asians to look like.
Right.
So I didn't sign with her. Another example is I did a YouTube video with these successful Asian YouTube creators. I'm gonna say right now, it's not Wong Fu because I love Wong Fu. I've worked with Wong Fu twice in like really, really small roles. They're amazing. It's not them. But I worked with these other YouTube creators who were also Asian, and they had invited me to come on to do their like food series. So we went to a restaurant that was Asian. It was like Asian fusion, and they asked me to put on an Asian accent, and they were Asian, and I mean, you're hearing me speak right now, right? I don't have an obvious Asian accent.
You don't even have a K-Town accent. Like, there's no accent.
I speak like, this is the way I speak, right? And they were like, can you speak like with a Korean accent? And I was like, why would I do that?
Yeah. That's crazy.
So I said no. I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Like, while you were filming?
It was like we were about to like film an intro or something, and they were like, can you do a Korean accent? And I said no.
Yeah.
And I mean, they kind of dropped it. It wasn't like they were like, oh, you have to do it or else, you know? But I was like, why would you even ask me that?
Yeah.
What?
And again, they were Asian too. So I don't understand where that was coming from.
That is...
Like, I feel like you would almost expect maybe a white person to say that to you, right? And you'd be like, oh, they're racist.
Exactly.
But coming from another Asian person, I was so confused because I was like, what is the point?
Yeah.
Or what are you trying to enforce here?
No, exactly.
Like, what ideas? What?
Yeah. Because you would think as Asian creators, like, you would want to change those stereotypes, like,
exactly.
You know, be the force that, like, pushes the envelope. Like, why are we regressing?
I don't know. And it's like one thing if I had an accent and they were like encouraging like, oh yeah, like speak the way you speak, whatever. But I don't have an accent. So it's like, why would I put on a fake accent? And to be honest with you, I've had auditions where like the character does have an Asian accent, and even if it's not like, it's not intended to be racist or anything, that's just like the character, I still feel uncomfortable putting on an accent just because I don't have one, and I feel like it sounds so fake when I do it. So I never really like doing stuff like that because I'm just like, I don't know, it just feels uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, feels a little, I don't know, like icky.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
like I've had to study an Asian accent to try to copy it for like a scene because I don't naturally do one, and I don't want to offend anyone also.
Right.
It's, I don't know, as an Asian it's hard for me to do an Asian accent.
Okay, honestly, same.
Didn't the same thing happen with is it called Nora the Aquafina?
Oh yeah,
like something similar.
Nora from
I feel
Queens
like,
or something?
Yeah. Like they were like, oh, Queens people don't even act like that, or they don't talk like that. I feel like I read something.
Where she came under fire for like the way she speaks.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, but let's
upgrade here.
Yeah. So those are some of the experiences that I had in the very beginning. And I just, and it's weird because I'm even realizing now that both stories concerned it wasn't with another Asian person.
Right.
So it was weird. I don't know, but I didn't sign with that agent, and then I never worked with those YouTube creators again.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a weird experience.
Yeah, but also like I will say like good on you for like standing your ground because when you're put into that situation and it is on the spot, like I think it could be scary to be like no.
Yeah, it's really scary to stand up for yourself. And you know, when if other people tell you these kinds of stories, your immediate response is, well, why didn't you say anything? Or like, or why didn't you just leave or whatever? But when you're in that moment, it's scary, and you don't know what they're gonna do, and you don't know what they're gonna say. Like they might, you know, it's just like, it's not fun being in that kind of position and to be put on the spot like that. It is hard to say no.
Right.
But I think, I just never want to do anything where I feel like I'm compromising my own beliefs. And I will say that the roles that I see coming in for auditions now and stuff, they're a lot less stereotypical and things like that. So I do feel like there is progress in the industry. And I think Crazy Rich Asians honestly had a lot to do with it.
Oh God. Yay.
Internally I laughed at the word stereotypical because like I knew you were gonna say that word, but I totally forgot that word was a word. So I was like, yeah, stereotypy. In my head, I was like, yeah, stereotypy. And then you said stereotypical. I was like, oh yeah, that's the word. Not stereotypy. Sorry, but yes. Yeah.
Hey.
But on the flip side, do you feel like nowadays, or compared to when you first started, there has been more like support on the management agency side in terms of representation, where like they're bringing you up and supporting you as opposed to maybe sometimes putting you in like uncomfortable situations?
The good thing is that those two situations that I was in didn't have anything to do with like management and stuff. So like no one put me in those situations, which is the good thing. But I will say like my manager now, he's never made me feel like other, you know, and he's never made me feel like I didn't belong anywhere, or that because I'm, you know, Asian or minority, that I don't have a say in anything. He's been really good about pushing me out for roles that he thinks I'm fit for, and it doesn't necessarily have to be an Asian role. If he thinks like, oh, like this could be any ethnicity and I feel like you'd fit for it, you should read for it.
So nice.
He submitted me for stuff like that before, so I have no complaints about my manager now. He's never made me feel weird.
Oh, that's great.
If anything, he's been encouraging because I've had a couple roles where speaking Korean was required. And so I grew up in America. I came from Korea when I was 2. And so I'm better at English than I am at Korean. And I'll be like the first person to admit that, right? So my Korean, I would say, is like elementary proficiency. So I can carry a conversation. I speak to my parents in Korean all the way, but if you throw me in like a professional setting or like, you know, I like get like scared. Yeah. I'm like nervous and I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna think my Korean's so bad. But I've been submitted for roles where they'll give me a script in English, but they'll say, please do it
translate
in
it?
Korean, so I have to translate it. You have no idea how many times this happens, by the way. A lot of the times I think they just write it and then they're like, okay, like they can say it in Korean, but they don't bother to translate it for you.
Like, can you hire somebody?
They want you to translate it.
Wow.
And so that is like the bane of my existence, because I'm like, oh my God, like I have to translate it and I don't even know if I'm saying it correctly, you know?
Yeah.
But my manager will always be like, no, just go for it. Just do it. It's fine. Just do your best. Like, you know.
Call your mom if you have to.
No, dead ass. I have actually, my mom has actually helped me so many times.
Yeah. It's like Korean school homework.
So I did a short film with my friend Jessie, who is also a USC grad, and that short film actually won an HBO Max APA Visionaries contest. That was like the most exciting. That was like the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me. Because I didn't know he was going to submit it. I didn't know what he was submitting it to. So I just did this film, like just because he's my friend. Just because he's my friend, and I was like, oh, this is a funny script, haha. So he is Korean, but he doesn't speak Korean. So he gave me the script in English. He gave me the script in English and said, can you translate this and say it in Korean? And I was like, oh, this fool right now. I was like, oh my God, Jessie. But I asked my mom for help. Because I was, well, one, I've never been a waitress in real life and I've never said it in Korean before. So I was playing a waitress, right? So I was like, I don't know what waitress to say. Like, I don't know what terms they use. Yeah, like, what did I say? I was like, 주문 도와드릴까요? Right? But I had to ask my mom because I was like, I don't know what. So she literally helped me translate the whole script, and then I had to memorize it. So, okay, and this is also the other thing. Memorizing in Korean is so like hard. Twice as hard. So difficult. Because it's not like my comfortable language, right? So it's like, it's twice as hard as memorizing something in English. Like in English, I can glance at something and like maybe like wing it. In Korean, I have to like fully sit down, like memorize every single thing, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, she had to help me and then I had to memorize it. And on the day of filming, I was so nervous that I was going to mess up. Because again, I'm not that comfortable speaking, like memorizing and speaking in Korean. So, and on top of that, you're acting, right? So it's like you're thinking about a million things. I'm not just saying the lines, like I also have to act a certain way. So I was really, really nervous, but it was really fun. And that was like one of the best things that has ever happened to me. And it's also really funny because I met, there was like an HBO premiere for the APA Visionaries contest, and like Jamie Chung was there, and I mean other people were there, but what I remember from Jamie was she was like, oh my God, like when you started speaking in Korean, you were so scary. And she was saying because she doesn't speak fluent Korean.
Oh, there's so many of us.
And then I was like, no, you don't understand. I was like, you don't understand, Jamie. My Korean sucks so bad. Like I needed my mom's help to do this. So it was really funny.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, actually like a couple weeks ago we were at this year's APA Visionaries event.
How was that?
It was
Jesse
good.
was also there, but he didn't invite me.
He didn't invite you?
He didn't invite me.
Oh my God.
I heard he ignored me, so I was like, oh, you were there?
No. He I think he went, but yeah, how was it?
It was good. And we
have so many comments. Oh, well, for one, the difficulty of memorizing in Korean, I always want to think like, you know, I tell my parents to show me some grace with that because it's like when they can't remember our friends' names.
Oh.
Or, I don't know about you, but when my parents can't remember
like your English friend's name, when
they can't remember that, it's the same thing when I can't remember like I'm gonna be honest, like some extended family members who are in Korea, like I can't remember their name.
No, I can't either.
Oh, no, your 할아버지's younger sister's son's like child, like what's his name again? It's like that, right? Korean is it's
harder to remember for some. It just doesn't stick to your brain.
Unless it's a food item.
Priorities.
But also, yes, Jessie. So
wait, so you know Jessie too?
So do you know Jessie?
Yeah, who knows Jessie here?
I know Jessie kind of just like through people. Like I know Jessie's sister.
Yes.
I like see Jessie at events. I see Jessie on your story. And then
so Jessie's parents are maybe like my parents' closest like couple friends.
What?
So
wait, first of all, I love his parents. His parents are so sweet.
Yeah, they're so sweet.
Wait, so you know him well?
Absolutely not. That was the HBO event was the first time I like met him.
How did the parents meet?
Church. So I've had dinners with his parents, and they come over to my house, like, and I know my parents, like, when they're not home on a Sunday night, it's because they're having dinner together.
Oh, wait, your parents live in Torrance, huh?
And yes,
okay. This makes sense. Okay.
And so I've been to their like restaurant and stuff, but I've never met Jesse
or his sister.
So I feel like his sister.
I love Ruby also.
love Ruby,
yeah.
yeah.
Was she in student council? I feel like I met her through student council.
Oh, I don't know, actually.
I don't know. But I've seen her a lot because my mom also has a group of girlfriends, and one of their daughters, I think, used to be really good friends with Ruby. I don't know if they're still like good friends, but then I would see her a lot on social media. But now I don't have social media, so I don't really know. But yeah,
What
so
a
like
small
Ruby,
world.
it's such a small world.
That's so crazy.
I just think it's crazy it took that long for me to like physically meet
him?
Jesse.
Yeah. And what a letdown he was, huh? No, I'm just kidding. Jesse, if you see this, I'm just kidding.
We'll send him.
Yeah, let's just send him this clip. just these like 5 seconds. No, Jesse, I'm really close to Jesse. He's like so talented, and it's amazing to see like what he's accomplished.
Yeah.
And honestly, like we need more Asian filmmakers in the industry and stuff. And I think he's the real deal. So I'm just excited to see like what else he does. And
I'm excited.
Yeah.
that's so funny. I can't get over what a small world.
Wait, so you know how we were talking about, you know, they're proud when like parents are talking about. So like my dad will go around and be like, oh, you know, one of my friend's sons.
Oh
like,
my God.
You know, like it's on HBO, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh yeah, I know you told me last week. And like, yeah, so they're going to so I think his parents were at the premiere,
Yeah,
right?
they were.
Yeah, so my dad was showing me photos of Jesse's parents.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, his parents are so sweet. I've like been to the sushi restaurant too and stuff, and his dad is like so chill. That's so cute.
Yeah.
I don't know how they get along so well, because I don't think, like, my dad loves to drink and he loves meat.
A true Korean dad.
I think like Jesse's mom is like the complete opposite. Like doesn't drink and is vegetarian. So I'm like,
Really? She's vegetarian?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm like,
That's so
what
rare.
do you guys eat?
That is really rare, actually. Yeah,
I don't meet that many Korean people that are like
especially like
vegetarian.
older people.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe among our age, like
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
but not a lot of.
I don't mean
older...
to put Jesse's mom on the spot.
I know, now we're
but-
just talking about Jesse's family. I'm gonna text him and be like, "Yo, I just did a podcast. All I did was talk about you and your family." No, I should text him and be like, "Wait, so your mom's a vegetarian?" He'd be like,
Watch
"What?"
me like, no, she's not.
Yeah, he'd be like, "What?" Yeah, he's like blocked.
Yeah.
He just blocks me.
So funny.
I'm
funny.
in my backyard. My
Nice.
parents, his parents, my boyfriend, and myself. Just
And not Jesse. What's Jesse doing?
I don't know.
He's making them
Yeah, he's
film.
making films.
Yeah,
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, changing the world.
He's winning HBO contests.
Exactly. Busy out here winning awards and stuff. So
It's so
understandable.
funny.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I think that the world is collapsing in on itself, because I feel like
For sure.
if you're in LA, it's like everyone knows everyone. Like,
Yeah.
don't burn any bridges. Like, truly.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. That's so funny, because that reminds me of one time I dated this guy. When I say dated, we went on one date, but he was like oddly like really possessive, and which is not a good thing, because he was a photographer and he was like, oh, I'd love to shoot you, right? And so I was like, yeah, cool, let's do it. And so we like made oh, with a camera. Sorry, I should specify. So he was like, oh, let's do this day, like I'll call my makeup artist and like blah blah blah, and like we'll have a costume designer, like with stylist, whatever. Yeah, so he was like pulling all the ropes, I guess, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then a couple days before, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I can't, because I have an audition that day.
Yeah.
Which is obviously my priority, right? And he got so mad that I couldn't come. He was like, I can't believe you're flaking on us. Like, this is everyone was taking their time out of the day to come. I will like tell everybody I know never to work with you in this industry. And mind you, he's not even like a big photographer. Like, I'm like, who are you gonna tell? Your mom? Like, who are you gonna tell? So he literally was like, I will literally make sure you never work in this town again. Nothing happened from that. I promise you, nothing happened from that. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell he's doing these days, but like,
And have you? Oh, so you haven't seen him?
I've never seen him. Like, oh, I think he was like still creeping on my Instagram and stuff for like a year after, and I think I blocked him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As you should.
But
Just
that was
block everyone.
He's like, you'll never work in this town again.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So wait, that reminds me. Sorry. So this is like truly coming like close circle, okay?
Yeah.
Because we were like, oh, did I ever run into my ex?
Yeah.
So I actually never ran into them, thankfully, because of friends. Because there was one time when we were out, and I think a friend had texted Hana, right, and was like, if you guys are out tonight, don't come to
he's
X, Y, and Z
here.
because he's here. And then the second time was truly like maybe God's grace, because I technically got there first, but there was no parking. So I was just going round and round and round, and the other friends were just Ubering there. So they got there first and saw him there and was like, hey, like he's here. Like, should we go somewhere else? And it's so funny because they called me exactly when I found parking. Like I found parking and I was about to leave the car. I parked, like everything parked, turned off. And they were like, oh, by the way, he's here. So then I came out, picked them up, and then
went somewhere else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I wish the universe would watch out for me like that. I'm like, damn. Yeah, you have like angels.
Yeah.
Like redirecting you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm one of the angels.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, she has the parking gene, the angel gene. So here, sprinkle some.
Please give some to me. Please rub off on me. Like, damn.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell the people where they can find you, plug all your stuff?
My social media that I want to detox from. So my Instagram is at Leanne J Park. I also have a website if anyone's curious. I think it's leannejpark.com.
With 2 N's.
Yes, Leanne. I know Julie's gonna stalk my website.
The Apple clip.
I know Julie's gonna look for my commercial there.
And I actually I had to stop HBO just because I had too many subscriptions, but I'm gonna like get it again.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Or you're gonna share your login.
So watch Ne on HBO. It's NEH by my friend Jessie Gee. It's like a 6-minute short. It's really funny, so I'm sure everyone will enjoy, and that's about it.
And we can hear her speak Korean.
Yeah, you guys can hear me speak Korean and know that I struggled so hard to translate it. Shout out to my mom.
Yeah. Shout out to Leanne's mom.
Shout out to Leanne's mom. The real MVP.
Yes. And you guys can go ahead and give us a follow at Bulgogi.podcast on Instagram and TikTok, on Twitter at Bulgogi Podcast, me on Instagram at HANAKATTT.
And me on TikTok at VEJULIFIED.
Yay. And
yes. Well, we have a tradition where we end every episode with an ooh, but we're going to try something new. And
Okay.
you take your pick. You want to be pur, ko, or ki?
I want to be ki.
Okay. What do you want to be? And should we do it not in chorus?
oh, it should be in a sequence.
Why
Exactly.
am I nervous?
But I think you take pur.
Pur. Okay. And you could choose whatever pitch,
Yeah,
but let's see how the first try turns out. You know.
dude.
Wait, we
Ready?
don't say it at the same time, right?
No. It's gonna go pur, ko.
Okay.
Where did the goal go? So
You were starting.
So was my pur too?
So that was a test.
All right, you guys, let's perfect this.
I think that was good.
Yeah, I think that was great. Also, I just want to, I've been thinking about this comment the entire episode.
Yeah.
Leanne is literally the epitome of triple threat.
Oh my god.
Dancer,
Yes.
singer, actor.
And model? Did you say model?
Oh, quadruple.
Actor, single.
No, I'm not a model, guys. Stop it. No.
Oh, sorry.
No. But that's nice.
But
I've always thought about that, but yeah, thank you so much.
that is how she described you when we were like, okay, like, she was like, oh, I want to have Leanne on the podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like, tell me about her. Like, what does she do? Blah, blah, blah. Triple threat was the first thing she said.
Immediately.
You know what's so sad actually is like all this stuff because we went to college together and I was doing all of these things. But I feel like as an adult, it's harder to do everything, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that I sing. A lot of people like people don't know that I do anything. Yeah. And I sometimes have an identity crisis about it. Because I'm like, oh, people from like my younger years like know me so well as this person.
Right,
But like
right.
now as an adult, like people don't know.
I relate so hard.
Isn't that true though?
Because one of my mom's clients, her daughter was going to prom this past weekend, and and I just like felt the need to tell her that I was homecoming queen. So I told her.
Wait, but that's so cute.
And I felt like I was like happy I said it, but I was like so embarrassed also because like what about it?
Yeah.
You know?
Like
she
what,
was
7 years ago?
Exactly.
You're like, I just have to tell you.
Because she just kept talking about it, you know, like having to go to her daughter's thing to take photos and blah blah.
So you just need to humble.
Yeah, you're like,
Exactly.
well, actually.
Exactly. So I just kind of relate,
You're like-
you know, because those who know, but like the nowadays people don't know.
Yeah, you know what I
Like,
mean? It's
yeah.
like it's common knowledge to everyone else.
Yeah.
But then the people you meet now, you're like, oh, just so, you know.
Easter egg it. You gotta
I gotta
Easter
just like
egg
bust
it.
out singing sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you want to go to karaoke?
Yeah.
Just like randomly bust out a song and I'll be like, wow, you sing?
Exactly.
Yeah, just a little.
That's really funny because the other day I was hanging out with this guy and he was like, oh yeah, I was prom king in high school.
Yeah,
I was like,
no,
oh,
mine
were
was
you?
a little relevant. Mine was a little relevant.
I forgot why he brought that up. He's 33 years old. I forgot why he brought this up. He's not gonna listen to this. I forgot why he brought this up, but yeah, he was like, "Yeah, I was prom king." No,
Okay.
Did you peak? Did you peak in high school?
I was like, "Oh, send me the photo," but he never sent me. He never sent me the photos.
Okay, if
No,
he sends it
picture
to you,
never
we'll
happened.
insert it.
Yeah. I should send it to you guys.
We'll
I should
put a
ask
happy
him
face
for
and
it.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do
Okay.
it.
Sounds
Oh my god,
good.
I should ask for it again because he
Yeah.
never sent it to me.
Yeah. So were you prom king or what?
Yeah, I was like, so
Yeah.
about the prom, like, where, like, picture it didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Alrighty, you guys. See you next week.
Yeah. See you. Bye.
Bye.